Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. We are all set and ready to compose for today. I have my espresso here, so let's get going. I'll get my headphones on, and here we go. So, this is where we ended yesterday. We are continuing our scoring for the Ninja Gaiden game. Let's give a listen to what we did yesterday, and then we'll see if we want to reuse that, build on top of that, or build a fresh new idea for today, right? What I'm thinking is this sound that we are hearing, this dun could serve as a build up and not the entire uh, cue. It could start slow until the hero is tasked with you're on your own, and then you don't have communication and all those things, right? So maybe if the video aligns, like maybe if the cue starts with the music, let's see. Okay, it's okay, it's entering. Yeah, and then the moment when hero draws the sword, something else should happen. So would it inspire if I add footsteps and sound effects and all those things, something like that? Let's come to that later. This point is when the sword is drawn. This cool bass chord or bass thing can start when the sword is drawn. Yeah, remove this here. Okay, and then give it a listen now. Perfect. And for tempo, it's a new day, and we're going to change the tempo um, based on again listening to it, right? So how it goes. Let me give it a listen. Tuck, 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 tung, 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 dun, 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 dun. Tuck, 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 One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3. Should be in 6/8. Let me keep it at 6/8. Okay. Let me start with that. Okay. Maybe I'll increase the volume a little bit of the metronome so that I know what tempo I'm writing for. But I'm gonna head again with the same idea. Okay. Okay, so usually how it happens in games is that when a battle begins, the music should transition into that battle and then hold that tension action sequence, and then when the last opponent is killed, the music should fade out, or the music should end or fade out into the previous atmospheric tension that it was in. All right. Having said that, I would want to rethink. So, because the battle begins when the protagonist draws the sword, right? So we should begin this uh, drums, big wet drums, when the sword is drawn, and we should end it when the last opponent is killed. So let's go through that. Usually, how games are scored is they are loop based, so that it can be played on trigger. So, based on certain events when happening in the game, certain music and certain loops will be triggered. I haven't learned any of those middlewares, or I haven't scored for a game before. So, this is my first attempt at scoring for a game. I'm not hoping for anything, just wanted to get the experience of doing this so that I can share it with someone, and then I can get feedback, and then I can head in the right direction. So, to even start heading in the right direction, I need to have something written, and that's why I'm doing this. So, I'm gonna bring these notes to the closer to the start of the bar, and then I'm gonna quantize it so that nodes fall in place to the nearest grid line, and I'm going to quantize it with a 60% accuracy so that the human factor is also maintained, right? And I'm going to open the velocity setting to check if the velocity is all over the place or it's kind of balanced. Okay, I think I've played it with a decent velocity dynamics. Let's give it a listen. So okay. All right. We have something. Okay. Now this is just atmospheric up until this point. Starting here and going on till here. I'm planning to musically build sustain tension, but for that we need to have some bass. So the battle begins here and then the battle ends here, indicated by the drums. So the last opponent when is killed here, right? So dun 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 indicates last opponent died, And what are these? These are not notes, these are story elements, right? So I can put it on story marker, right? Okay. And this region where the drum begins and ends, this region is a musical language, because I'm gonna add rhythm. Rhythm indicating battle, right? And let's hear it again. This can be quiet. This is okay. And to indicate the cave feeling, that we can hear that sound, which we added yesterday through two tracks, the vital MIDI and the vital audio. So that is okay so far. Something musically should happen here, because it feels empty, but that's okay, because nothing story wise, nothing happened, or did it? I'm gonna rewind a little bit and watch in full screen and follow the subtitles to check if story wise something is happening. Made it into the cave. There's a gate up ahead. Once you get past it, you'll arrive at the containment cell. Comps will be cut beyond the point. That's a good place. So to indicate something. So when we can, what I'm thinking is, I don't know how this works, but what I'm thinking is, whenever the subtitle comps will be cut, is rendered. Let me snap it to frame so that I know exactly which frame the comps subtitle is rendered. Comps will be cut, right? And this is a story element. In whichever frame we see that the comps will be cut subtitle is getting rendered, that's an indication to create a suspense, or to create to play something musically to indicate the gamers that wow, okay, this is something that I need to be careful of subconsciously. So we see that there comps will be cut. So I can do something, take caution Yakumo, and then I can, for the whenever the take caution subtitle is rendered, I can probably um increase a little bit of tension, or it can be part of the comps will be cut. Because my understanding is the comps will be cut and the take action, they go hand in hand, they are not. So uh take action, take caution, and then until the battle, the same atmospheric tension should be maintained. So from the comps will be cut, take caution Yakumo, and then until the sword is drawn. This is the build up loop that we need to write. Why is it a loop again? For the same reason, this is a game, right? So after the subtitle is rendered, take caution, the gamer can still choose to go back or run back. At that time we shouldn't be starting the battle music, but the elevated tension from the moment comps will be cut should still be retained in a loop. That's why we need to write a loop music there, right? And the loop can be for just 4 beats, and then we'll just extend it, right? In a way, whatever we have written for the action is also should also be a loop music, so that until the battle ends, the same music can be triggered and can be played. Let's change the ruler display to measures and beats, and the snap settings to 1/4 a quarter note. Okay, so that we can see the grid here. And how many measures do we have? So we have roughly 11 and a half. So we can write a loop for 11 and a half or 12 measures. So I'm just gonna loop within this region, and I'm gonna create a region with the idea that it's gonna be suspense leading into the action. So in that interim period, it's gonna be a little bit of elevated tension. So suspense or tension cue. Sus- Suspense or tension cue is what we are going to hide, and that's an idea. It's an emotion, right? So it's an emotion that we want the gamers to feel a suspense or elevated tension the moment the in the subtitle comps will be cut rendered till the actual battle begins. So it's going to be a loop music. And how can we build tension? We can first introduce, I'm thinking out loud here. I can first introduce a violin harmonics. So all right, that just a single note of a C. Why C? Because I think we composed the drones in C. I guess in C scale. Yeah, the drones are in C, so I'm gonna stick with C. Keep it simple. So go to violin one harmonics and play C, high C harmonics. So if you see, this is the dynamics knob. So tweaking that is gonna tweak the dynamics of the note. And I have an expression knob here. I don't think you'll be able to see that on screen. I'll try to bring it on screen in the next session. But this is the pitch bender. So if I slowly change this pitch bender, the tension is gonna change. So can you hear the music? So if I keep on increasing it, it it will not be loopable because it will end at a high note and then suddenly it will go back to the normal note. So what I can do is, to make it loopable, I can just play this note and then slightly change this pitch and then bring it back and bring down the pitch and then bring it to the center so that it keeps on changing. So that's what I'm planning to do. Let me start the recording. And let's examine the pitch that we just wrote using the wheel. It's not that great, right? So we can draw it in ascends and then during the mid descends and then it ascends back and then comes to the center so that it keeps on changing when we loop this. Let me check now. Okay, why this seems like not working? Maybe it's because of the drone. Let me hear it with towards the end and then how it's getting back to the beginning. Yeah, I think just violin wise it should be fine. And maybe because, oh, the pitch isn't a problem, the expression isn't a problem, the modulation isn't a problem. It is kind of, it is loopable. What I'm thinking is the note start will have an attack of its own. So maybe if I start the note a little ahead, yeah, if I start the note a little ahead, the attack is already there and then it directly starts into the note. What if I extend the end node? Yeah. Hmm. What if I freeze this track? If I freeze that track, I will be working with a waveform instead of a MIDI note. So maybe that should work. We get back to the harmonics and then get back to the track. We are here, right? And now let's hear it. Kind of okay, kind of okay, but I'd like to keep it this way and proceed to the next track to see how else can we build tension, right? Okay, one thing's done. So we have added on top of the ambience, we added a little bit of suspense in my um, work. So it's abrupt, it's not slowly coming in. So for it to slowly come in, we have to bring in the modulation and expression slowly and then end it accordingly so that even it can be loopable, right? So I'm gonna go to modulation, right? We have modulation and expression flat. Now I'm gonna bring it in slowly. So for that, I'm gonna extend this and then start recording, and then I'm gonna manually record just the modulation and expression. Okay, the idea is it should end from where it started, right? And this is what I was going for, kind of. And the same thing for this. Then I can bring this level from mid to mid, likewise mid to mid, so it can be loopable and should come in slowly. Should come in slowly, come in slowly. Or I can do this. I can bring it in slowly, do whatever it wants to do, and then end slowly. So do, and then end slowly. Likewise, I can bring this in slowly, do, and then end slowly. Right? Okay, again slowly and slowly. Yeah, it should work. It should work. But what I'm thinking is the volume is too high. The expression and dynamics can be reduced a little bit is what I'm thinking. So maybe we'll keep it at a lower level, right? We'll keep it, and yeah, it should sustain. So it should start and end at a little bit of volume. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it at that level and then freeze it so that we'll have our suspense in place, right? So we have the suspense coming in, and we can add little more suspense using some violins or short high or string short high in general. Okay, why is it not playing. Oh, because something is soloed. I don't think anything is soloed. Okay, then maybe it is not loaded properly. Let me check. Yeah, it is loaded properly. Yeah. Oh, I was in a violin one harmonics range, so it's a very higher octave. So I should come back or bring it back an octave. Okay, this is a short high. Let me first test if my MIDI controllers are set to the right octave. Let me go with orchestral long. Yeah, this last note and this first note should match so that I have everything aligned. Right. All right, now getting back to the strings short high. Actually, I'm thinking of violin short. Violin ones and twos playing in a higher octave. Too loud. Let me listen to the tempo. Instead of shorts, how about I bring in violin? Violin harmonics is already playing, so if I go with the violin one tremolo, maybe tremolo for how many bars? We have 12 bars, so it should get back to the starting note and should be loopable. So maybe I will first set up the grid this time. This is the grid that we are going to work with, and we are planning to start with C, right? And then we are planning to end with C, right? So to get tension, we can start with chromatics. Ra, 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 ra. How about this? Put it higher in an octave and give it some expression and mod wheel recording. Okay, that's a shape I got. I'm gonna retain that, and likewise. Okay. So it loops, right? and I can do a little bit of like cello shots. Just holding the tension. Takita, 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 takita. So it's takita, takita is what we have, right? So I'm gonna just do dun 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 dun. It's looping. So it's just dun 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 dun, just to retain the tension. And I can delete this because it's gonna loop back again. So I'm gonna bring it into the grid and quantize it. Quantize it by 8th note. So the dun 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 is not pronounced enough, right? That's okay. Dun 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 dun. It's just like dung dung. It's not dun 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 dun, right? How about we add a double bass as well? And the double bass will be in a lower octave. So okay, that sounds good. So together, this is okay, but it should be in context with the previous and the next. So up until this point, we just set the ambience, right? There is nothing, nothing intensive yet happened. So it was just an ambient setting with just orchestral drones and just some synths from the start. And then the moment the comms subtitle hits, we are playing a suspense or tension. We're building up the tension, and when the sword is drawn, the intensity should increase. So I'm planning to retain whatever we wrote, the suspense and the dun 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 rhythm, right? And because it's gaming, like that's okay. And the earlier drums or the damage that we wrote, that also I'm bringing in. And we already have a big wet drums here. So how is that sounding? Oh, I should turn off the loop, right? And then here, how is it transitioning? Okay, so right now it's just indicative. It's just from the rhythm that we added. Where is the damage? The damage is here. Oh, we haven't copied the damage note. Okay, I've copied the damage. Let's see how that rhythm is adding to it. The damage should also start when the rhythm is starting, right? And okay, let me hear it again. This is our next loopable piece that we should be writing. Okay, that is the action element of it. So from the top, I'm gonna give it a watch once. Imagine this along with the water splash sounds, the sword sounds, the footstep sounds. All those sounds are gonna take up the sonic space. So we should be mindful when writing music. So it shouldn't be boring at the same time. It shouldn't be empty, right? I like the structure of it. So it was the ambience here. I'm imagining it with footsteps and running steps and the voice dialogues on over the comms and everything. So this point, the suspense cue is something increasing and happening. And at this point, the rhythm is coming in. Now, this is where I wanted to test yesterday's idea of the strings that we wrote, right? Tung, 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 tung. But yesterday we wrote it in 4/4, so it's not going to match. But I want to bring in a string idea here for the SWAT fight, right? So for I'm gonna turn on the tempo. I have a shortcut T. So if I press T, if you see here, this metronome is gonna change. So I've configured that as a shortcut. And coming back to our strings. So I have three tracks for strings, one for close mic, one for try, and one for wet. So the resulting sound is I like the resulting sound. Right? It's good, right? I like it. Because we are writing in C, let's stick to C. I want to hear the metronome more. So what I'm going to do is go to this setting that we created. Oh, sorry, not there. Here. And increase the volume to full, to 0, and check. I don't feel it to be powerful, maybe because of the expression settings. So I'm gonna increase few bars ahead so that I can start recording the expression modulation settings. Okay, now I'm hearing it. Let me do one thing. Let me first record only on a single track and then make all the expression changes there and then copy it to the other mics. So but that's okay. I'll do all three together so that sounds powerful, right, for me. Yeah, I'm keeping it simple. Open. I have to quantize the notes. So all three tracks. I'm selecting all three tracks and then putting everything on a single track and then quantizing so that I can edit all the MIDI notes together. So first I press this shortcut Z, which I have configured to change the grid to 128 so that I can easily move this slowly around, bring it into the grid, and then switch back to whatever grid I recorded this into. It's definitely not 1/4. Sorry, it's definitely not half note or a whole note. So it's a quarter note. I can see that based on the grid, and then I can press Q, which quantizes to the. Why is it setting to 100%? I wanted to set it to the 60% setting, and the action Q was configured to quantize notes using the last dialog settings. So it should quantize it to 60%. Not sure why is it not, why it is not, but that's okay. And yeah, I learned these all from the YouTube and the internet. There are great composers out there who have courses and who have content in their YouTube channel from which I learned all this. I'll add it in the description of those channel links so that you can go check those channel out. Okay, I like that. And I have this single track on, and if I select multiple tracks and just open the one track, you see if I move this, you see the disabled notes from the other tracks. If I click the single track, everything will be editable in the same media editor. I want to add on to this. What can I add? I have added root notes. I can add the fifth or the chromatic note. The chromatic note to C, which is C sharp in this case, is sounding good. So let me try that. Okay, I like that. I can spray in D sharp as well. All right, okay. Just want to communicate a story while the battle is happening. For me, it is loopable. I'm gonna save it. I want some kind of orchestral short high. Something like that. Nope, I don't like that. Instead of I also want to add that. Let's see how that sounds on top of this, right? Instead of writing everything in the same track, I can probably split them and then write, or I can copy them into different tracks. Great. Open these three and then write the dun 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 idea there. select everything and then adjust the velocity. So why the velocity change is important is because these are pre-recorded samples, right? So different velocity level trigger different samples. So first time it is the second time it can be da 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 da. Da 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 da. So the second again we can repeat the same thing, sir. Da 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 da. All right. So we have something. Let's. I'm gonna hear a playthrough without the metronome on full screen. So here we go. So I'm planning to add footsteps and other SFX to fill the sonic space, and I'm also planning to add a little more musical elements to this based on how the story needs are. So yeah, I'm planning to continue this in the next session. Thank you so much for listening in, and yeah, go make some tune. Thank you.